Well, good morning and welcome to Daily Reflections. And I'm really looking forward to this week as we change the subject of our daily reflection and we talk about encounter, and are you ready for it? And one of the things that I think I've learned over the last 6 months is how important encounter is and how important encounter is to Jesus. And whenever you see through the Gospels, you see that he has an encounter with people and that he purposely went out to do that. And one of the things that's probably the most important thing is the Great Commission. And the Great Commission talks about going and making disciples. And, we have to put ourselves in a position where firstly we know our relationship with Jesus is really important and we need to go to that encounter and we need to really dig deep and say, what does that mean for me? Meeting Jesus, the encounter of that and my relationship with him. And then secondly, we need to think about how do we encounter the world in which we live in. Now, one of the habits I think I've got into in the last, say, 6 months or so, or maybe even a year now, is that I'm purposely placing myself in places where I wouldn't usually put myself in maybe about 2 years ago. And one of those areas is like early morning breakfast. And I go out with a friend and we spend time together, have a cup of coffee, and we sit in quite a well-known restaurant and we spend time chatting about the good news. And that obviously brings up opportunity. And I just always sort of remember sitting down and thinking, well, yeah, it's great us talking, but how do we encounter those around us? And then I just started to do something very, very simple. And I think this may be something that be quite useful information. I started to nod my head at people as they came through the door of this restaurant. Or I would just say, hi, how are you doing? And say, welcome. And then after a while, I found what happened was that we were starting to build up a relationship with those around us. And one of the things I found is that they started to come and say, hello, how are you? What are you doing? And then it then progressed on. And, recently it's just given us more and more opportunity to speak to other people. So I think when we talk about encounter, we talk about something that we need to go out, and that's what Jesus said, and it's go. There needs to be an action of us going out. And secondly, that we are then to start building relationships so that we can make disciples. But if they don't know us, how will they ever get to hear the gospel? And I think, if you can think about that in your daily life, what does it mean to go out, maybe just go for a coffee in somewhere that you've never been before, and then start just saying hello to people or just nodding, and it's amazing. One of the things I do as well is I may purposely go and do my work out in a cafe. I might open up my computer. On the back of the computer I've got some statements that would make people start to ask me questions. I know it feels a bit uncomfortable, but that's how you start. If you want an encounter, you have to first have motion to meet. And once you've had that motion to meet, it's the opportunity then to build relationship. Far too long in our faith, maybe we've spent too much time enclosed instead of exploding outwards. And that's what I call the power of multiplication, when we start to move out. So I hope this is a good introduction to Encounter, the series this week. I'm looking forward to. I shall be reflecting on some of Jesus's encounters and hopefully learning some things from that so that we can take forward in our daily lives. So until next time, I shall see you then.